Hello everyone, and welcome back to another layout update video. It has been far too long since the last one, and by far too long I mean extremely way too long. Ryan, where the hell have you been? To be brutally honest with you, I just haven't wanted to do a video layout update, because I didn't feel like I had significant stuff to show off, really. I've wanted to tidy things up and smooth things out, but I'm at a point now where I've done, not so much, but I've done a lot to the point that I feel like one is necessary before there is too much of a difference, and I end up, making a massive 20-minute long layout update that could have been a 10-minute one if I had just updated, at a reasonable point. So we'll start off with, the smaller side, and that is that the yard has been ballasted. I was a little bit silly. I forgot what kind of ballast I used. I did this in two halves, right? And I forgot what half I did this side of the yard with. So you'll see there is kind of a color difference. I have tried to do a thin layer to kind of make it match, but it hasn't really worked. The rest of the layout will be in this color. This color, it's I can tell you actually, it is Grey Coarse Ballast by Woodland Scenics. Really good stuff. I really like the consistency of it. And it was, the bottles are fairly cheap. And you get quite a lot for just one bottle. I mean, this one bottle alone, you can see it's not even fully empty. I've managed to do this whole half of the yard, and all the way down here, and there, and here. And then obviously there's still some left, and I've been doing some scatters jobs here and, around this area. And yeah, so this is the yard. I'm really happy with how it's coming along. I'm not sure what to do in all these empty spaces. I was thinking of painting them like a dark grey and kind of giving it like a concrete texture almost, or like a sort of flat road area, but I need to look at some reference photos of actual yards and see what they do. Obviously it is meant to be prototypical, so it is meant to look like an actual yard, and it's meant to have, ballast where there would be ballast, flat areas where there would be flat areas, etc, etc. And yeah, so we've got an engine shed now, a small little shunter shed. I always wanted to have a shunter shed down here, and you'll remember in one of the previous ones, I did have this siding here set as the shunter shed. The reason that's changed, two reasons mainly. One, I wanted more space here, because originally I wanted to have a road that ran off of this, ran behind, and met the goods platform here. And it's still possible, I think. It won't look prototypical at all. I'm fairly certain this would be way too, if I flattened this, it would probably be alright for a lorry to come in and unload. But I just don't really see that being possible, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do with the space if I don't have this here. Because as it currently stands, I don't know what I'd put here. Excuse me. So, still kind of scheming on things here, and the road to run round. You can see that I have cleared the space for it, and there would be a small fence that separates these. The next step will be a signal box. I'm thinking roughly here, because it would be quite a large signal box, I think. Probably medium to large. It would go here, and it would watch the crossing gates, the yard here, and it would also have the vision just here. It would have the vision of this half of the yard as well, so it could cover the entire yard, and it would be the yard signal box. That would mean, however, that we'd need another one for the engine shed, I think. I'm fairly certain it's prototypical for engine sheds to have a signal box. My knowledge is purely, unfortunately, based on Thomas. Well, unfortunately for some, not unfortunately for others. Is based around Thomas, and I know they had one outside Tidmouth sheds in the TV show. So I'm thinking that maybe there would be one, maybe a small one. I'm not sure where to put it though. The only place I can think of is where Holland America line currently is. But again, I don't know how prototypical that would be. I don't know. So we'll think about it. Next up, the turntable. It was unfortunately broken, I think, by my nephew. It was an accident. You know, no hard feelings. He's a child, so he's like 2. I'm not gonna get mad about it. But it did mean I had to buy a new one. So I got a new one for my birthday this year, and I completely forgot that I needed the remnants of the old one for some of the stuff on the new one. The main thing being the clip for the motor to clip to the turntable so that you can actually, you know, use the controller here to rotate it. So the whole turntable's basically been put on hold as a result, because I don't know if I'm willing to spend the money on a new retaining clip for the motor. Because basically I'd buy a whole new motor assembly, and these things aren't cheap, you know, it's about 60 quid I think, last I checked. So it's not cheap for just like 2 pieces of the kit. It just doesn't seem ideal. So I'm thinking of looking into possibly 3D printed parts instead. I've got some friends that have filament printers that I might ask. You know, because obviously I'd probably go for filament as it's a lot sturdier and it won't be seen, so it doesn't need to look, you know, doesn't need the smoothness of resin. And yeah, so that's where we're at with the turntable. It will eventually, you know, come back up and be reconnected. Just not for now. I keep saying I'm trying to stop saying And that's the turntable. That's where we're at. Oh my god! Now that I've noticed, I keep saying I'm gonna like notice it every time I say it now. It's gonna bug me. We'll move on from the turntable over to the engine shed. So nothing much has changed here, but I have corked the whole thing. I want to make this hard standing, so I want to make it concrete. I've got the clay, I just haven't had the time or the effort or the energy. I don't really know how to do it around points. So it's definitely going to have to be a thing that starts, you know, back here. I wanted the whole thing to be hard standing, but it just doesn't seem realistic. So it's going to have to just be this, you know, from sort of the engine shed back, just before the engine shed back, I think. I do have an inspection pit. I bought one pre-built from a model shop back in July that I do want to fit. I want to fit it on the very outer line just there, and hopefully fitting that will allow for, you know, some cool. There's like holes in the bottom for the grates. I would like to knock them out and hopefully maybe like make a hole to film like underneath the engine. I think that would be really cool. I know. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me there. Sorry about that. I know not a lot of companies actually design like intricate bottoms to their engines. Like, you know, the bottom of this is the buck jumper by Curascale. It's just, you know, plain flat thing. But I just thought it might be cool to, like, if I'm doing a shot of the engine like rolling back into the works, it might be cool to have like an underframe shot. I'm still not sure about it. We'll see as time goes on. The other thing I want to show off is the TV series models. Henry is still the default Bachmann model. That is changing as we speak. I finally got the parts to make Henry and Gordon. Excuse me. Yeah, I just thought I'd show them off. Percy isn't going to be with me much longer. He's going off to a friend in Germany. I just don't like the color. The green is too dark, and I'm not a fan. I believe Percy and Henry should be like sort of not exactly this color, but more a lighter shade of green. You know, maybe sort of. I don't really know. I don't have any good examples, unfortunately. Just not this shade or not that shade. A fabulous person to look at
for a good shade of green for TV series models is Edward King02 on Instagram and Twitter. He's a really good friend of mine. He makes amazing models, and his TV series Percy and Henry look fantastic. He's picked a really nice shade of green that I will possibly be following. So yeah, that's the TV series model corner. Toby, Edward, James, and Percy are the only ones complete. I have made a TV series Thomas. He isn't mine. It was a commission. He's going off to Germany alongside Percy. They're both going to the same person. So there will, Thomas will have a friend to go to Germany with. They'll match because obviously I have the same kind of like paint. You can see that James's is like a little bit darker than the two I've made, because James actually wasn't done by me. James was done by a friend of mine called Modrail. I will link something of his social media or whatever in the description. I'll also do the same with Edward King. They started this and I finished it. It arrived in absolute pieces. It had completely fallen apart, and I took it upon myself to replace the 5s on the tender. They were originally paper cutouts. I upgraded them to transfers. The handrails needed redoing. The lamp irons needed redoing. The buffers needed redoing. The screw coupling needed redoing. The brake pipe needed redoing. There was a load of stuff. The roof was also in pieces. Needed basically an entire overhaul. Now the overhaul has been done. Looks fabulous. Face is here, by the way. Edward King printed and painted these 3, and the one for Henry. This one was by my good friend NWR Chris. It will also be going with Percy to my friend, so I will not be keeping that. I have a separate commission planned for Edward King at some point. Now on to the thing that I've kind of been avoiding talking about. Well, not avoiding, but I want to leave it till last. The Scarloey extension. So, some people might be aware, I think I've talked about it before, this is actually going to be Croven's Gate. You can see there, CG, it's Croven's Gate Station. Plans are going really well. I've got the foam board to raise the SR above the Northwestern. And you can see if I go down to Bear's level, it does actually line up pretty well. Once I get the station platforms in, I think it will actually be the perfect height. I'm really happy with it. That siding is the siding where Gordon talks to Sir Handel. And for also, I think the one where Edward talks to Scarloey, I think they're the same siding. I could be wrong though. This isn't the final track plan. This is a temporary track setup, just so I can run my Scarloey engines, because, I mean, who doesn't love seeing these little guys run? There is just something about narrow gauge engines with a line of coaches that are fantastic. So yeah, the plan is, for the Scarloey, I want to kind of combine Croven's Gate with the Talaflin. I believe the only other example I've seen of this that I can think of off the top of my head is Sodor 1955 on Roblox. They, I believe, did a sort of, both of them together, did like a Talaflin and Scarloey kind of crossover, in that you had Scarloey Station, you had Croven's Gate Station, and then that led into the engine sheds, and then behind the engine sheds was where Wharf would be for the Talaflin. And you had like the bridge and stuff, and it looked really, really nice, and that was what I wanted to recreate with my layout. Not that to a T, I wanted mine, because I think if memory serves, they haven't copied the Talaflin track plan exactly. They might have, the developers of 1955, and I could be completely wrong. And if I am, I apologize to Green and the team, because I have not played 1955 in a long time. But that's the eventual plan for this. I want it to kind of have Croven's Gate Station, engine sheds, carriage sheds, wagon sheds, whatever. The sort of Talaflin Wharf-esque inspired area, so that I want to recreate, even if just the one shot, when the Talyllyn Railway recreated Sir Handel, and they had Sir Handel speak to Gordon at Tywin Wharf. I thought that was really cool. I liked that a lot. So that's kind of what I want to recreate with this. So that whole area there will hopefully, fingers crossed if I've got the space, be Tywin Wharf-esque. I don't think it's going to work out quite the way I want to, purely for space. But that's eventually the plan. This will all lead into a tunnel. It'll go up. There'll be another board here that will go up, become it will be like a wooded area, sort of like the end of the line. Abergenowen for my Talyllyn fans out there. And then it will come round. The forest area will come round, come back down here, and like there's going to be like a back scene that divides this board in two. One side's going to be like a wooded forest area, and the other side's going to be obviously Crowden's Gate Station, carriage sheds. And then it will come round, come down, and then it will loop back in. I might extend this out that way a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, then it will come back round and loop in. Like in the TV series, how Crowden's Gate Station is actually... it's not like the Talyllyn. It is a loop. It's a loop line. I believe it's a loop line on in the TV series. I could be entirely wrong. My track knowledge of the TV series is very minimal. But that's the eventual plan. There's also going to be a tunnel here. I don't remember if it was there in the last layout update video. If not, there will be a tunnel here to break up the scenes between the engine sheds and Crowden's Gate Station. And that's it, really. That's your layout update. 17 minutes. God, I've waffled on. There isn't much else to say. I post a lot more on Instagram than I do Twitter. Instagram is a lot easier to post on, I find. So if you want more updates, if you want more like little insights, go and follow me on Instagram. It's the best place. It's Ryan's Railway, as it is for YouTube. Best place to really find me and my stuff. I do have a Twitter. I do have a Blue Sky as well. I just completely lack the motivation to actually upload all my stuff again onto Blue Sky, because Blue Sky doesn't let you, or at least I haven't figured out how to, post videos and media, like photos and videos alongside each other. You either make a single video as a post, or you can select a couple of photos, which really annoys me. It makes having to upload stuff like a major hassle. So I do have a Blue Sky account, but it is it's virtually inactive. I'm kind of only there so that my username doesn't get taken if I do ever convert fully to Blue Sky. I'm also on, I believe the website's called Model Train Media. I'll link all of these in the description if you wish to check them out. Model Train Media, I haven't posted anything on there. It is a nothing burger currently, my profile on there. But it looks like a really promising forum for model railway stuff, so do make an account and get on the website if you haven't, because it does look like it's going to grow into something really promising. But I think that's it from me. Oh yeah, there are back scenes here, but they're temporary, which is why I didn't talk about them. And I have started doing like the cliff work for the viaduct as well. That's also stuff that I've been up to. But yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed hearing me waffle on again. I love that I mentioned earlier on that, it'd be better not to have me yammer on for 20 minutes in one layout update. And that's exactly what I've just done. I've been yammering on now for 19 and a half minutes. The recording has been going on for 19 and a half minutes now. The video is probably a little bit longer because I will have put in like an intro and whatever. Anyway, enough of my voice. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in for another layout update. I'm sorry that this one is so long, and I'm sorry that it's been so long since the last one. I do hope you can forgive me. And who should we let sign us out this time? I think it's only fair, because he's running and that's sort of the major new addition. We'll let Duncan do it. He's a plain speaking engine and he believes in plain speaking. So thanks for watching, chaps and chapettes and everyone in between, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.